Hello everyone, it's Magic Dave here again, and I'm finally working on Sapiens after a good couple of months there where I took a bit of time off. Now obviously that time off was due to COVID-19. The kids were at home and I couldn't really get much work done. I did try a little bit, but we kind of, with 4 kids and one of them not really sleeping very well through the night, we were basically really tired, and I really needed to help out my wife with keeping the whole house running. And in some ways it was actually kind of a nice time. But I did try to do a little bit of work. For about a week I just tried to work part-time, but it just didn't really work out for me. I find that it's really difficult to work on a game, especially in these later stages of development, if you're not working on it full-time. I know that some people do manage to do it, and I have actually made games completely in evenings and weekends in the past, but it takes a really high level of commitment, and I think you really need to either have kind of a small game or something that you can progress on really quickly, because the problem when you're at this point in development with such a large scale game is that the progress just feels so slow, and you have to keep so much stuff in your head for these times in between when you're developing, and it just gets really frustrating. So yeah, I just decided it just wasn't going to work if I was going to try to keep developing over this period. So yeah, I just kind of experimented with a few random things over the time. I used WebGL to make these animated weather maps, which was quite a nice little side project. I also got outside and built a garden, which is something that I've always kind of wanted to do, so that was a nice little project, and it was kind of tied in a little bit with Sapiens as well. I sort of justified it a little bit because I wanted to learn a bit more about sort of how, the actual farming process, I guess, and, making a slightly larger scale garden than anything that I've done before. It was really enjoyable, and it's, now I've got this great garden that's producing heaps of food for us, which is just awesome. And I also built a staircase. I don't know if you guys are interested in any of these kind of things, but yeah, I decided to improve my commute down to my office every day. I used to basically just clamber down this grassy slope, which wasn't ideal in winter, so I went and spent about a week just building this large staircase. So that was an interesting experience too, and a lot of kind of manual labor and digging outside. So I don't know, I think I've sort of made the most of the period, but I don't know, it's great to be back and working on Sapiens again. So that sort of explains where I've been and what I've been doing. But yeah, the kids are back at school, and so I'm working on Sapiens again full-time, and I've just thought I'd start by just recording a quick video just explaining where I've been and also what I plan to work on from here. So I did manage to do a couple of things in the lockdown, just a couple of minor things really. I added some beetroot plants. Let me just try to find some. Here we go. Little beetroot plants. I guess this was tied in with my sort of gardening, and I kind of thought that I would try to add in a few little plants. So that's just another food source, and you can plant them as well, just like you can plant apple trees and stuff. So I want to have a huge variety of different plants and things, so I just thought I'd get started on that. And I also started thinking about, I was just having a little play test, and I saw that when I was spawned on quite a steep slope, things were pretty difficult, because when I was how I had it before, like a campfire, you basically had to build it on the flat, and once you got into the hills, it was no good. It would start clipping into the hills or whatever. So now each individual rock and branch rotates and translates to fit the slope that you're placing it on. So that's a nice little feature. It does cause a few little issues with sort of what's supposed to happen when you do things like this, so I'm going to have to resolve those. But at least there is now the ability to place things on slopes and have them all move around nicely. It also works with storage areas, and there's lots of work still to do with all that stuff, especially like when you're placing a house. I still don't know exactly how I'm going to deal with that. Like, I could have sort of stilts automatically show up and that kind of thing, but sometimes you might want to build those sorts of things yourself, so I'm just still thinking about that. But I'll figure something out. I've just dug a little hole here. This is something that I haven't really talked about, but this is sort of where I'm going to go into next. So you can actually dig dig and fill the terrain, so it's all really deformable. Let me just scale that down. So you just queue up dig orders and they can come over, and at the moment they don't even need a tool, but they'll probably need some kind of hand axe or later on a shovel or something to actually dig down. And this is sort of how the mining mechanic is going to work. So you'll basically be able to dig pit mines, and as you dig down you'll be able to dig through different layers of sort of different rocks and things, and you get resources back when you do the digging. But it's all so I haven't really touched this for quite some time, and I thought it was time maybe to go into this because I'd like to have a bit of tech progression happening, and I'd really like to have the ability to sort of smelt metals and craft more advanced tools and things, and that's always something that I was sort of intending to have in Sapiens, and I think it's probably time to get started on that. As well as that, I'll be looking at the skills system, so it's a bit funny at the moment with how that's all sort of working, and this interface needs a big overhaul, so I will probably be working on that in the next week or two as well. So as far as the sort of long-term future plans for Sapiens go, obviously, there's been a couple of months where it hasn't, nothing's been done, so the release date will be pushed back further than it would have otherwise been. But I've never really said what the release date is going to be. I've had sort of goals in mind, but they've always been fairly flexible. I do want to get Sapiens out next year, so that's still kind of my target at the moment, but I don't know when next year. And the game's going to be done when it's done, and I want to really make sure that this is a great game, and all the content that I want to be in it is in it, and all the systems are in place, and all the gameplay is there. So there's still lots of work to do. So the focus for the next few months and the rest of the year will be mostly on content, but along with each sort of addition of content comes a whole lot of sort of systems and things that need to be refined, and I want to fix up bugs as I go. I don't want to be left with a whole bunch of bugs at the end that I have to fix. So that's really all I wanted to say at this point. I just wanted to sort of quickly get in and say, look, I'm still alive, and I am going to be working on Sapiens a lot in the next few months now that the kids are back at school. So sorry for my absence. Hopefully everything's going to sort of return back to normal a bit more now, and as long as we can keep this COVID-19 at bay, I'll be able to keep developing Sapiens and getting a lot further in the next few months. So thanks for watching. I'll start recording the next devlog, and we'll get that out in a couple of weeks' time. And until then, we'll catch you next time. Cheers.